Hey friends, and welcome back to Transaction Thursdays. I'm Christina, and today we're talking about automation because automation can either save your business or it completely can overwhelm you. Okay, so I see agents and TCs all the time who get super excited about automation. They sign up for 5 different tools, they spend weeks trying to connect them, and they end up so much more confused than when they even started. So today we're going to cut through the noise, and I am going to tell you exactly which tools you need, which tools you don't need, how to automate your business without overcomplicating it. So by the end of this episode, you will have a simple, clear automation strategy that actually works. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the trap that most people fall into, and that is that they think if they have more tools, that equals more productivity. So, they sign up for a CRM, a project management tool, an email scheduler, a document signer, a task manager, a calendar app, a Slack alternative, all the things, right? And they spend all of their time trying to make those tools communicate with each other and sync together. That is not automation. That is absolute complication and confusion. So the truth is that the best automation is actually the simplest automation. You do not need 10 different tools. You need 2 to 3 that do the heavy lifting, and they need to work together very seamlessly. Let me give you an example. So I used to use separate tools for my CRM, a transaction management system, my email, my calendar. I mentioned a few episodes ago the whiteboard on my wall. That was my transaction management system for a while. It was like there was something different in every single system. So I had one system for documents. I actually at that time had paper documents that we were still using too, and this has not been that long ago. We had paper documents. We had documents in a certain system. We had a whiteboard on the wall that was like for a quick glance for our agents to look at so they could keep up with the transactions. We had another system that we were trying to convert to keep up with transactions. So that was a transaction management system. We had, oh my goodness, we had so many systems. We had spreadsheets. We had different systems for tracking commissions. We had different systems obviously we had Gmail, we had Google Calendar, we had different systems for tracking referrals. Like it was a mess. Okay. It was a mess, like an absolute nightmare. So you have to, obviously, every time you want to check on a transaction, log into 5 different systems in 5 different places, complete and total chaos, right? What I realized though is that you don't need more tools. You need better integration. So I consolidated everything into one system. And when you move into one system, especially when it integrates with Gmail and Google Calendar, now everything syncs automatically and I only have to check one place. Well, I have to check 2. I have to check my Gmail and I have to check my TC Docs. But 7 or 8 systems down to 2 is great. So the fewer tools that you use, that's the goal. Fewer tools, smarter systems. Okay. So what do you actually need? Here is my recommendation for automation stack. You need a transaction management system. You need a command center, and it should handle your transaction pipeline, your task automation, your email and calendar integration. You should be able to upload documents and have document storage if you choose to use it on that system. If you have a separate CRM, that's fine. But if you choose to use document storage, it definitely needs to have that. Obviously, my pick is TC Docs. That's what I use. It's built for real estate. It's simple to use. It integrates with tools that you're already using, like Gmail and Google Calendar. But again, the tool itself doesn't matter as much as having one centralized hub. The next thing you need is email automation. You absolutely need to have the ability to send templated emails and automated reminders. For example, your inspection is scheduled for, whatever date. Or reminder, your appraisal's due in 3 days. Or maybe it's congrats on closing, here's what's next. Most transaction management tools, such as TC Docs, have this built in. If yours doesn't, you can use tools like Gmail templates or Boomerang or something like that. The next one is calendar automation. So your system should automatically send calendar invites for key dates like, inspections, earnest money, walkthroughs, appraisals, closings, whatever your key dates are. And this is huge because it takes calendar management completely off of your plate. Your clients, your lenders, your vendors, they all get invites. You get an invite, whoever, without you really having to lift a finger. Again, this integrates directly with Google Calendar if you're using TC Docs. So all you have to do is when you're in there, you sync your calendar to it, you go on and you add it to your calendar, and then you can share that invite with whoever needs that invite, okay? The next thing you really need is document management. So you have to have a place to store and organize every document related to a transaction. Whether it's contracts, disclosures, addendum, amendment, inspection reports, repair proposals, amendments, oh my goodness. Whatever it is, whatever documents you have that you receive for this transaction needs to be uploaded and stored and organized. Google Drive works, so does Dropbox, but ideally your transaction management system or your CRM has this built in so everything stays in one place. And that's it. That's the core stack. You do not need a million tools. You need a few that just work together. Now, I want to talk to you about what you don't need, because this is where people a lot of times waste a lot of time and a lot of money. You do not have to have a separate CRM system if your transaction management system tracks leads and clients. Now, if your brokerage has a separate CRM system and you are using their CRM system, that is fine. You do not need a separate task manager. Your system already has task automation or should have task automation. If your system doesn't, I would recommend moving to one that does. You do not need complicated Zapier workflows that require a tech degree to maintain. You don't need that. And you don't need an expensive all-in-one platform that promises, to do everything under the sun, but in the end, it ends up doing absolutely nothing very well anyway. So if a tool does not save you at least 5 hours a week, you do not need it. Automation should simplify your life, not add another layer of complexity. I see agents all the time who are paying for 10 different descriptions and they're drowning in work. And that's because they're trying to automate everything instead of focusing on, the 20% of the task that creates 80% of the results. So focus on automating the repetitive, the time-consuming tasks like reminders, follow-ups, calendar invites. That's where you're going to start to see your biggest ROI. Now, I want to do a quick recap. The best automation is simple automation. Again, you do not need 10 tools. You need 2 or 3 that work together. Your core automation stack, we're going to run through this again really quick. It includes, number 1, a transaction management system, which is your command center. Number 2, email automation for your templates and reminders. Number 3, calendar automation for auto invites for key dates. And number 4, document management, organized storage for your documents. Okay? And skip those tools that don't save you at least 5 hours a week. Now, if you want a plug and play system that has all of this built in with templates and automations and integrations that are already set up for you, that is what we build inside the Transaction Freedom Accelerator. And in 30 days, you will have a fully automated transaction system that handles as many files as you want in less than 15 minutes a day. Or if you'd rather have it done for you, you can choose our done for you setup, takes care of everything. We build it, train you, hand the keys to you, and you still get 30 days of support after the fact. So if you want to learn more about either of those, the link is in the show notes below. And thank you, friends, for tuning in. Next week, I'm pulling the curtain back and showing you my exact 15-minute daily workflow for managing 65 plus transactions. Until then, keep it simple, automate smart, and keep building your freedom.